Right, we're going to talk about tough stuff. Tough stuff. So
Tough.
we
What do you know?
what do we know? So we are going to be talking about triggers today. Now, I really never understood triggers because I always thought it was just a buzzword and never really knew what it meant. But apparently triggers are quite important, and
What triggers you?
what triggers me? I get triggered by quite a lot of stuff. Apparently triggers come from your childhood, but I get triggered by, to be honest, not getting my own way is my really, I don't like it. And it's I think it's from apparently it's from childhood, isn't it? This stuff, but
Yeah.
we both have had
I think
quite
it's
a tough time with it because we both have been very reactionary. Like if I don't get my own way, I can be a real like sulky, shouty.
You were. You've done a lot of
miserable-
stuff now where you're just
I
much
still
more
a bit.
pleasant.
It's still.
Far pleasant. Horrendous.
But I think from a point, yeah. I mean, both of us have had quite tough times in
I think a
our
lot of people are.
in our lives. You
What do
know?
they say? It's the foundation of your neurons. So like when you get a feeling
Yeah.
or whatever else, like say the first time you ever felt scared or the first time you ever or whatever else, that is your foundation block, and that can go in, say, from a very young age, and it can take less than 2 or 3 seconds. So you could have somebody who was there who had a whole life of abuse that was just didn't get a very good start in life, and you could have someone right next to them who had one impact or one moment that lasted 3 seconds, and they could be exactly the same.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's difficult. I suppose. I mean, because I look back at my childhood, and I thought I had quite a good childhood, but my childhood was very chaotic. Like,
You did have a good childhood, but there was just a couple of bits that just made you go,
But
or
chaos.
programmed you, if you like.
Yeah, chaos means that I don't get my own way because everything changes all the time, right? So it must have come from somewhere really early. No? No?
Yeah, where?
What are you
I
doing?
don't know.
What are you doing? See, look, I'm going to be triggered now. You don't
But
get my
no, I
own-
mean,
Go on, listen.
you can have all sorts. I mean, I did a lot of work, and it was, I found BWRT was good.
What was wrong with you though? What was the triggers? you
Everything.
found? Everything. Where did it come from? Because
No,
I think that's really
I think it's like,
important for people to
when I did
understand.
mine, I did work with abandonment, betrayal, injustice,
And where do they come from?
and from childhood.
From your
And
childhood.
when you felt that feeling come on, then what basically happens is your brain goes, right, there's the neuron, fires down to that road, and then subconsciously you'll just do it, and just you won't even know you're doing it, and basically you'll relive a feeling from when you were abandoned or when you were betrayed or where you had that sort of injustice. And a lot of people just go, oh, in fact, it's just me. Or how many people have got those friends where you just go, oh, it's just Dave or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's not my fault.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I do that. It's not my fault. It's yours.
But the truth of the matter is, you can do something about it if you want to. And
It's
there's a hope for a
fixable.
lot of people because they, a lot of people just know they're doing it, or some don't. And
See, I never knew I was doing it. I thought I was very justified until.
yeah, because you do. Because if it's a trauma that's caused it
Yeah.
at the time, that reaction or whatever else would have kept you safe in that situation. But as you get older, and that feeling triggers you off, it's no longer serving you because you ended up. Well, I was. Then a lot of people it happens to. You end up reacting like you did back then.
Yeah, like a
And-
brat.
And yeah, but when you look at it,
I am a brat.
it's just a child that got programmed in that and never got given the right tools to get past it. And so many people are stuck like that, and they don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah, and actually that's the thing. I think it's finding how. I think.
But it's a
for
mixture,
me,
isn't it? You
Getting
know?
out of it. There's loads of processes you can do to get out of it, but for me, the one thing that triggered me to actually do something about it is to actually recognise that it was something that I was doing, and actually understanding that it was me that was doing the action rather than going somebody else is doing this, somebody
Yeah.
else is doing that, and actually going, oh my god,
Oh,
I'm
I did it for
behaving
years.
really badly, and I would justify it's that person made me do it, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually,
You'd find something you didn't like about the situation,
there you go.
and then you just go on and on and on about it until you've convinced yourself it's somebody else's fault.
They made me
But
do
then
it. Yeah.
you go around in circles till you get to a point in your life where you're just actually.
It was me.
It
And
was
then,
fucking me.
do you know what? What's interesting? I mean, think about this yourselves, guys, because what's interesting is the minute you realise it's you, you've got a chance. But until then, you have no hope of getting out of it. But actually looking back at your reactions and thinking,
Well,
was it all me? Was it all me? Or was there an issue that was
You
going
get
on
stuck
before?
basically, and I think it's like you get everything comes round to be put in front of you until you finally get it.
And
then you go,
realise you're
right.
completely fucked, basically.
But it's
and-
not, I mean, BWRT is a good one because it can turn the triggers off, but there's also, you know, for me, I had complex PTSD from what happened to me. So I would
So
just,
what was it that happened?
just being kicked out at 15, you know, just on my Todd. I remember like mum and dad said I had to go. And, you know, any time I felt that feeling afterwards, I would shut down or anything else. So
So was it shutting down that you?
no, I mean, like basically complex PTSD, it's like normal, it's like PTSD. You'll relive a scenario, like, you know, so in your head, your brain, you know, neurologically just take you to those places. So there's other bits that you might want to consider. Like what I found was really helpful was quantum hypnosis, which was going into your subconscious, which is, everybody goes, oh yeah, I get it, yeah, I could talk about it all day long. But the truth of the matter is, your subconscious is the thing that keeps you breathing, the thing that keeps you safe. Until that's convinced, then you're pretty fucked. You're going to carry on the same. You're just stuck. And this is the psychological help that I found. Like, you know, you could do psychotherapy, you could do all these other bits and bobs, which is, in my eyes, it's pretty crap. Because like psychotherapy is just like, okay, you get an understanding of what happened to you and acceptance, and you just go, oh yeah, well that happened and I've just got to accept it. But the quantum stuff, the quantum hypnosis is powerful because it goes into your subconscious, and like that's the little kid that actually agrees with your conscious self now that you're safe at last. And a few sessions you can get through it, and we know some really cool people, don't we, that have helped us.
We do. I mean, I think the thing is that there's lots of stuff lots of ways you can do this, and I think there's lots of them cost money and time and everything like that. But I think
That's the bugger. It cost a few quid, but it's not mega.
What can most people do right now to actually do, to do something about it, to actually recognise it? Because I think, once you recognise it, you find the solution.
Once you surrender and you just go, right, I've had enough of this shit.
Yeah, I've had enough. That's the thing, isn't it? You've got to have had enough of yourself. And I'd had enough of myself, I'd done everything I thought was right.
But it's also like...
Because I annoyed myself. I didn't even like myself,
It's when you pull away from the circles, and you also realise when you start doing it, a lot of the people around you are similar because you've ended up being on that vibe.
Yeah.
You've magnetised them in. And like you realise that most of the people you used to hang around with are probably just as broken as what you are.
That's
But
true.
whether they're brave enough. But the thing is, most people have a support network. So if it's not you convincing yourself, like, oh, it's the other person that... or like, it's someone else just telling you what you want to hear. And lots of people have that. And generally, if it's a parent or friends or something where these problems are started and you've inherited their patterns, and it's interesting, once you do the work, you realise that a lot of it comes from your parents, and they've sadly inherited it from their parents. And then when you get your head around it, you realise, well, I wonder how far this back it goes. Is this like decades, hundreds of years, even further?
It could be. It could be. So, I mean, I suppose it's really important. Yeah, I mean, we've both done a long journey together, separately and together, to actually do something.
Oh, that's
about
what did
it.
bring us
And
together.
What? Because we were so traumatized.
No, it's because we were searching,
we're
weren't we?
completely messed up. That's why we're
Yeah.
a perfect match. But yeah, I mean, if you start behaving badly and you don't know why, it's worth looking at that in a bit more detail. And I'm sure we'll go into probably more detail about that, because I mean, I'm still triggered. You're never fixed, right? I'm still triggered regularly, aren't I?
No, you're
Yes,
not.
a little bit.
She's too
You're
hard
so
on herself.
nice.
It's got a massive stick now.
Yeah, anyway.
No, you're not. You're great. And I
Sometimes.
think the most valuable thing you'll get out of a partner or any relationship, because I expect there's loads of people out there just going in a similar story. They're stuck where they've got a partner who's been triggered, and there's generally the aggressor and there's the submissive one or whatever. And then both of them, when you realise, it's just like, it's always easy to point the finger, oh, my girlfriend's this, or my husband's this, or my fella's this, or whatever. And it's really you're both together because you're both probably at a similar place. No, you're just at a similar place. But
We're both at a similar place.
it's whether people want to get unstuck or not, basically. And that is the choice it comes down to. Because at the end of the day, what we've learned, I expect you agree with this, you can't fix anyone. You've got to want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And surrender into that.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way.
And actually, just going, right, sod it, I'm going to do it. And then, it's tough to start with, but when you get going on it, it's so rewarding, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel free these days?
Totally.
Happy little bunny?
Look at us. We're sat in a field.
She's easily pleased. You know, you don't need much.
I know. I've had a rubbish time until now. That's why. You're lucky. I haven't been spoiled.
Help.
Anyway. Anyway, have a lovely day. Make sure you please like and share our videos because we really, really want to continue doing this and we need to know that you like us. Anyway.
I think we've got far too much to say.
We've got too much to say. See you soon. Take care.